Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So the crypto market taking another slide yesterday, Bitcoin trading at 9,494, Ethereum 202, and XRP just under 30 cents. Guys, a 29-cent XRP is always a good deal in my mind. This is not financial advice, but if you are looking to add to your stacks, now is a good time to do so. And look at the percent change in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin down 11.87, Ethereum 10.96, XRP only 4.91. Okay, and that has been the trend over this last little leg down. XRP has not been collapsing as much as the king. A bit of a difference as to what we had been seeing in the past. I took a snapshot from yesterday of CoinMarketCap, and this was from yesterday at about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we were seeing double-digit losses for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. XRP was only down 3.06%, so that trend continuing about 28 hours later. Okay, XRP down only 4.91. Okay, and everything else down quite a bit. And the only reason why I'm talking about this is because there are so many people who get so frustrated and so upset that XRP, doesn't go up as much and then collapses just as hard. And we have seen that in the past, and this is a bit of a change of gears, I suppose. Let's just be happy, whatever the reason may be, let's just be happy that this is the case. Okay, I'm sure you XRP haters have your lips zipped at this point. I probably won't see that mindless inflow of negativity in the comment section until the trend reverses. But this just to illustrate it further. So Bitcoin versus the XRP decline. July 15th at 4 p.m. to July 16th, 8 p.m. Bitcoin went from 11,080 to 9,234. Just to demonstrate that here on the chart, guys. So we were around, where were we? So sorry, this is XRP. Let's go just back to Bitcoin here for a second. So I took this leg down here. Okay, from right around here to right around there, that represented a loss, okay, of 16.7%. And as you can see here, around the same time frame for XRP, this is XRP on the 4-hour. The last one was Bitcoin on the 4-hour, by the way. And if we take the same time frame here, okay, to about here, okay, XRP only went down in comparison 7.9%. So just to illustrate that to you guys, XRP doesn't always crash just as much or more as Bitcoin. Sure, it might not be getting the same gains all the time, although there have been times where XRP has seen gains. Okay, guys, it's an ebb and flow. It evens it out. If you take the average of how much XRP increased from 2017 till today, we're still up quite a bit if you look at that overall picture. Going back to this, though, don't want to dwell on that too much. Bitcoin, so this is Bitcoin on the 4-hour, and it looks like we broke this low. So we are making new lows now. And I read an article a couple of days ago regarding the next level of, some analysts were pretty pessimistic on the Bitcoin price movement, and they were suggesting that the next level of demand would be around this level here. They said 8,800, and I've kind of ranged it here from 8,800 to about 9,500, give or take. And we are now dipping in this zone, as you guys can see. Okay, can we hold support here? That is a good question. We will see. So not that we're bearish, not that we're in a bearish market right now, but Josh Rager here on Twitter, that's Josh_Rager, suggests the market structure is broken and lower lows have been set on higher time frames. There will be smaller bounces in between, but it looks like the trend has changed, folks, for the short term. Not that the market's bearish, guys, but we could see this pattern continue before we see momentum up. Okay, had we see those massive gains, had Bitcoin broken an all-time high, and had gone parabolic for weeks after that, maybe it'd be time for a cool down or a bigger correction. But this, to me, is not that scary. We did see a double top here in this shorter time frame. I have a feeling we'll hold. Again, guys, 40% correction is par for the course in cryptocurrency. We're going to start seeing this more and more as the price goes higher and higher. Okay, so don't think of it in dollar amounts. Think of it in terms of percentages. And even though today we're seeing a very bearish day for Bitcoin and the crypto community as a whole, this is still the sentiment in the marketplace. Retail investors can now bet on Bitcoin hitting $100,000 by 2020. So this is new possibilities for the retail crypto trader. As Bloomberg reported on July 17th, the $100,000 call option implies that Bitcoin's current valuation could increase over tenfold and hit a $2 trillion market capitalization. This bullish bet on Bitcoin is the first crypto derivatives product open to mom and pop investors since LedgerX, a sealed approval from the U.S. Commodities Future Trading Commission to serve as a designated contract market for clients of any size, as Cointelegraph reported in June. So institutional investors have been able to trade derivatives via the platform for 2 years. Ledger X CEO Paul Chu has revealed to Bloomberg that such clients who each hold assets worth between 10 million and 1 billion have already expressed interest in the new project. Of course they have. So opening this up to mom and pops, though, call option to bet on Bitcoin, that it will go up. This is like trading options in the stock market. It's now available for crypto traders to bet on Bitcoin, guys. And believe it or not, there are lots of people who don't think Bitcoin will hit 100,000 by 2020. I am not personally one of those people. I think, well, by 2020, let me rephrase, maybe by 2020, definitely by 2021. This from XRP Crypto Wolf on Twitter, though. It sounds like JPMorgan was buying and selling drugs worth billions, and they have the nerve to say that cryptocurrency is for criminals. The real criminals are the banks who got bailed out during the 2007-2008 recession, which was caused by them with their housing bubble situation. I don't know where he got this from. I don't see where the source is, but JPMorgan CEO publicly denounces Bitcoin as currency for criminals. That was from a couple of years ago. But U.S. Customs just seized a ship owned by JPMorgan after authorities found $1 billion worth of drugs. This news from last week. It's funny, though, because Steven Mnuchin, on the one hand, at the press conference, explaining that cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and all those other currencies that you cannot trace, the privacy coins or what have you, are for criminals. We want to clamp down on this. And yet this kind of thing happens. I mean, this isn't the newest, this isn't the most recent news, but, it's not hidden from us. How is this kind of thing even allowed to exist in the same universe as politicians, denouncing cryptocurrency for being for criminals? It just seems very, very blatantly obvious, to me at least, that there's a lot of corruption, and there are a lot more reasons why politicians want to regulate cryptocurrency. It's never for the reasons they're telling you. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Don't want to dwell on that too much, but it certainly is something to think about. One last article actually just relating to this for a second, because I did see this today. So for each US dollar in BTC spent on the darknet, $800 is laundered, says a report attacking Steven Mnuchin's claims. So again, just to the fact that the U.S. Treasury Secretary was talking about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are being used for illicit activities. This put out by Masari. They published a detailed report just demonstrating how much fiat currency over the years has been used for illicit activities versus Bitcoin. And they estimated that for each US dollar in Bitcoin spent on the darknet, 800 is laundered. And so fiat currencies obviously have a bigger role in laundering money and used for crime rather than Bitcoin. Guys, I'll link all these articles in the description if you want to read them further. So Ripple CTO David Schwartz says companies like Amazon and Uber should use digital assets like XRP, and they probably will. I'm going to read you a little bit of this. So Ripple's chief technology officer says some of the world's largest companies can benefit from the use of digital assets. At a recent We Are Developers conference in Berlin, Germany, David Schwartz talked about Ripple's efforts to work with banks and financial institutions to improve the speed and cost of cross-border remittances. According to Schwartz, corporate giants like Amazon and Uber would reap the rewards of mass adoption of digital assets like XRP, allowing them to pay international employees in an instant without having to hold various currencies in banks around the world. So we knew this already. I love this quote, though, from Schwartz. If you're a Seagate or an Amazon or an Airbnb or an Uber, these companies all make large numbers of small payments. Amazon has thousands of merchants that they make payments to. Uber, if you're in the Philippines and you're a driver and you need money for milk, Uber would love you to drive for them and buy milk right that day. But they need efficient payments, and it's not that they don't want to pay you on that day. It's that the system we have currently is so cumbersome and so costly that there is no efficient way to pay you right away. Okay, Brad Garlinghouse mentioned this a few months ago now, and it grabbed my attention because I didn't realize this. The fact that we have payroll every 2 weeks. If you go to a job and you're getting paid from your boss and it happens usually every 2 weeks, there's a reason for that. It's because the process is cumbersome and costly. If the people at your work paid you 5 days a week, so literally every single day that you were at work, it just wouldn't make financial sense for them. They would be losing money and it would just be way too much time involved. So that's why it happens every 2 weeks. But Ripple can change that, right? Because the technology is efficient, because it happens instantly, people can get paid instantly, all the time, whenever they need. So this is the thing David Schwartz is talking about, Uber drivers, Airbnb hosts who host guests. All these people who have these mini payments, but lots of them, multiples, could get paid instantly if they just use Ripple. So they need payments that are as reliable as email for that to happen, and that doesn't exist. And each of these companies employs literally hundreds of people just in their payment divisions. And if you imagine, if you ran a payment company, you would love to go to any of these new corporates and say, hey, fire your hundreds of payment people. We'll do your payments. But there's nobody who can do that. Nobody other than Ripple. So Schwartz goes on to say he believes XRP is well positioned to power a payments revolution because its speed and low transaction fees, as we already know. So Ripple does have the power to do this, and they will do this eventually. Who wouldn't want to get paid in the same day, in the same hour maybe, as you complete a service, sell a product, what have you? All merchants, all service providers, all want the same thing, money in their account right away. Whenever I had a client that said the check is in the mail, I never believe them until I see it in my bank account. You can't count on people's words these days, unfortunately. That's just the society we live in. And Ripple will change the marketplace so drastically that those kinds of problems will rarely ever happen again. Anyways, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.